All right, let's dive into something that's both fascinating and, honestly, a bit overlooked: the call for more investment in African neuroscience research. Now, before you think, why should I care about this? Let me frame it for you. Imagine a field as critical as neuroscience, which studies the brain and nervous system, being largely shaped by data and research from Western populations. What many people don't realize is that African populations have unique biological, environmental, and healthcare realities that aren't fully captured in global research. This isn't just about fairness. It's about accuracy, relevance, and potentially life-saving discoveries. Here's the thing. The International Society for Neurochemistry, ISN, and Afe Babalola University, ABUAD, recently teamed up to highlight this exact issue. Their advanced school on stroke neurochemistry and cerebrovascular resilience didn't just stop at pointing out the problem. They laid out a roadmap for change. Personally, I think this is a game changer. It's not just about throwing money at labs. It's about building a research ecosystem that's rooted in African contexts. One thing that immediately stands out is their emphasis on African brain data. Why does this matter? Well, if you take a step back and think about it, most of what we know about stroke, neurochemistry, and brain health comes from studies done in Europe or North America. But Africa's genetic diversity, environmental factors, and healthcare challenges are vastly different. For example, stroke risk factors in Africa might include unique dietary habits, infectious diseases, or even air quality issues that aren't as prevalent elsewhere. Ignoring these specifics means we're missing critical pieces of the puzzle. What makes this really interesting is the call for multidisciplinary and multicentre collaborations. In my opinion, this isn't just about sharing resources, it's about sharing perspectives. Neuroscience isn't just a lab science. It's deeply intertwined with sociology, environmental science, and public health. By bringing together researchers from different disciplines and regions, we can tackle complex issues like stroke prevention and treatment in a way that's holistic and culturally relevant. Now, let's talk about infrastructure. Dr. Edem Edem, the director of the ISN-ABUAD Advanced School, stressed the need for stronger laboratory facilities and research tools. This isn't just a nice-to-have, it's essential. Without proper infrastructure, even the brightest minds are limited in what they can achieve. What this really suggests is that investing in African neuroscience isn't just about funding research. It's about building the foundation for sustainable scientific advancement. Another detail I find fascinating is the focus on mentorship and capacity building for young African scientists. From my perspective, this is where the future of neuroscience lies. If we want African research to thrive, we need to empower the next generation of scientists. That means training them not just in lab techniques, but also in grant writing, scientific communication, and research design. It's about giving them the tools to compete on a global stage while addressing local challenges. If you think about it, this raises a deeper question. Why has African neuroscience been overlooked for so long? Is it funding, prioritization, or something else entirely? Personally, I think it's a combination of factors, but what's clear is that the tide is turning. Initiatives like the ISN-ABUAD collaboration are putting African neuroscience on the map, and that's something to be excited about. Finally, let's not forget the global implications. Stronger African neuroscience research doesn't just benefit Africa, it benefits the world. By understanding the unique factors that contribute to brain health and disease in diverse populations, we can develop more effective treatments and interventions for everyone. This isn't just about closing a gap. It's about expanding our collective knowledge. So here's my closing thought. What if the next groundbreaking discovery in neuroscience comes from Africa? It's not a matter of if, but when. And when it does, let's make sure we're ready to support it. Because, in the end, science isn't just about where it's done. It's about who it serves. And everyone deserves a seat at that table.